of course, he loves to play Gragas. He often early picks it just because it's such a comfort pick for him.
And LeBlanc will also be taken away, and that already removes the last two games for PK, obviously against SK playing in Gragas, and the LeBlanc against Alliance. The final ban here for Fnatic will actually be Lulu, targeted straight in there once again at Alex Ich. What are they going to first pick here with a couple of jungle bans coming out? It's going to be Diamond on Lee Sin.
Yeah, I think he's just fine with actually Evelynn and Kha'Zix being banned away, because Lee Sin, Diamond, such a fantastic Lee Sin player and so much early game pressure. Even late game, he's always there, setting up kicks. So very good first pick here for Gambit. Elise would normally be the pick you would go against the Lee Sin here, just to counter some of the early game aggression. But of course, with the nerfed version of Elise, let's see if Sana still want to pick it up. He's played it before actually in the 4.4 patch, so it wouldn't surprise me too much.
Yeah, played it against Alliance in their win just a couple of games previously. 3-1, 10 he ended with that, and their win against Millennium and against Super Crew before that. So he's not scared of playing the Elise in this patch.
And let's see if Fnatic want to pick up Renekton here. Otherwise, Gambit Gaming, if they get Renekton onto Darien combined with the Lee Sin, such a scary combo early on. So much early game pressure you can put on this top lane here. So let's see what Gambit decides to do. For now though, Fnatic is going to be the Elise we talked about here. It is, again, it's still a very good pick. Actually, swapped away. So we're going to see more of a poke combo now from Fnatic. Nidalee early on. LeBlanc is banned away. It's normally a very strong pick against Nidalee. That's why also Peggy feels confident enough early picking it. However, Alex, he's been playing Zed before. He could actually pick it here and farm very easily against Nidalee and then focus on split pushing instead of team fighting.
Currently Diamond sat on a Carly. Not sure about that one, whether he'll go for that here against his Nidalee. Ziggs for me would be a champion. And we always talk about this, the fact that Alex, he really has his best games when he plays an assassin. Yes, okay, we can discount the game against Millennium 10-4-9 on Rise in the mid lane, a champion which he absolutely loves to play. He's got pro player spotlight on him many moons ago by now, but we always find that his biggest impact comes when he has those assassins in his hand.
And in case he locks in the Ziggs, it should be just for lane pressure, and I actually really like him switching over here. Could of course be Darren in the top lane on the Rise, but if it is onto Alex, it's a very easy laning phase for him against Nidalee. He's gonna get all the farm he wants, he's gonna scale into late game, become this monster here, and also he can build early tier, because he's not afraid of being killed by Nidalee in the laning phase. So in case it is gonna be Alex in the mid lane with Rise, it's gonna be a very good pick.
It leaves them guessing as well. We've seen Darien already play that Rise in the top lane against the Copenhagen Wolves. Didn't exactly go to plan for him though.
But it was against the Donger, of course.
It was against the Donger, that is very true. I wonder if Soaz has been practicing that. We'll find out here, because Elise was picked up for Fnatic as third pick. Are they going to lock in this Morgana here? We've seen how devastating Leona can be today. Morgana obviously offers a little bit against that.
And it's fun to see. A few weeks ago we had Karma in every single game. We actually didn't see Morgana for quite a while. Now when people are picking Leona a lot again, we actually see Morgana. And as we talk about here, laning phase wise, Leona, there is options to outplay the Black Shield, bait it out, switch target, and then you can get the kill or land some CC. Late game wise though, team fight, it's gonna make it harder to engage, and I like the pickup with Morgana because it means with this siege combo with Nidalee and with Lucian, they can actually move in, get a few hits on the turret when they're standing there sieging onto Gambit side, and then put the Black Shield on so there's no chance of the person to get locked up by CC. So that's where the combo makes a lot of sense. And of course Elise, it's the same thing Rocket picked together with Nidalee. It's because you're ranged as a jungler, so you can get some hits onto the turret, and you got your cocoon to counter engage or to land it, and then set up a very easy spear from Nidalee.
What are they going to complement a lineup here with though, Gambit? We see them hanging around here with Ziggs, something that they hovered over before. That would mean that the Rise goes into the top lane for Darien, and Alex plays the Ziggs, and we see Sivir here for Genja.
So with Rise in the top lane, Renekton of course is still open, but Rise is a very good pick against Renekton. I'm not sure actually what we're gonna see being locked in here from Source, because a lot of his standard top lane picks, if you look at Shyvana, Renekton, these tanks, Rise will do really well against him. He will farm well, he will scale into the late game. And with this Sivir, Gambit Gaming are just taking a comp to say, we are gonna engage onto you. The Ziggs pick gives them good wave clear, the Sivir pick gives them good wave clear against this siege, and then also they have the ability to just engage fights. Land the ultimate from Leona, pop the ultimate from Sivir, and you just rush towards Fnatic here. And I really love Rise when you can give him some movement speed buffs here, because he's so strong as long as you can get into the team and start doing all his damage.
What is Fnatic gonna round off with then? Top laner for Soaz. Oh
No, no, no.
Yes, I'm afraid so. Yorick in the top lane here for Soaz. We've not seen Yorick for a while. I still remember groaning at seeing the Yorick. It's not traditionally been strong for them, but maybe he's been practicing and he's going to prove me wrong. What do we think to Yorick right now? It's the first time, of course, that we're seeing him here in the LCS.
So Yorick should actually work fine against Ryze in the lane. He can put up a lot of harass onto him, and also, of course, very tanky, good sustain, so it's going to be hard for Ryze to actually shut him down. So I like the pick in that case, and both of them should be able to farm, but I will give it a slight advantage early on actually to the Yorick here. So we're going to see what he can pull out. And also, if Fnatic want to try and lane swap against Ryze, it's a good way to try and shut him down because he's squishy early on. You can dive him easily, and of course, if you can deny him some CS and delay him getting this tier early on, it would be very strong for Fnatic. So we could actually see them lane swapping.
Darian certainly needs to have a stronger game than that he did against, where did he play it against?
Copenhagen Wolves, the
Copenhagen Wolves, exactly, against Young Bucks. Heimerdinger. 0-5-2 he ended in that one, and just never really, again, he kind of fell into that Darian, not doing well, kind of losing concentration on the game and dying quite a lot.
And that's another reason for Fnatic if they want to lane swap, because if you can shut him down early, kill him a few times, Darren, he's going to continue running out to farm, and you can just continue to kill him. So it could be a way for them to shut him down early, make sure he never really hits the power spike of Ryze. And then with, again, the siege combo, same thing goes as with Rocket Game. If you get ahead early on with a siege combo, you get so strong, you feel confident, you start grouping up and sieging on turrets. That's where this combo really will shine.
Well, we'll see how well that one works out. But you guys, of course, have been voting all day long on this classic matchup. So let's have a look at the numbers. Looks like Fnatic edging this one out. 61% of the vote. Fairly close. We know that Fnatic generally do well in these fan votes, but this is a fairly close one.
Straight up 50-50. It is impossible to predict here. Gambit came back strong today earlier, really showed a strong performance. Fnatic, of course, been playing so well, but also against SK, they had some issues here. So both teams been a little bit up and down from time to time, but both teams, when it really matters, can deliver some fantastic games.
So here we go then, in-game Gambit versus Fnatic. We're seeing Soaz, the return of Yorick.
Yay!
Never been all that. I've not been convinced. I know that Demon is also definitely not very convinced about the Yorick. Actually looks like we're going to have a quick pause here. Seems like Darian
with some issues.
Forgot something. I mean, he's playing Ryze here, and we heard from Alex how you play Ryze. Yeah. You just kind of put your head on the keyboard and roll around a few times.
It's still, for me, a weird champion to see Darian play.
Yeah.
Because normally he's the guy always split pushing on a bruiser, and then when it comes to team fights, he just jumps into your face. And he's so annoying as well when he plays like Shyvana, Dr. Mundo, Renekton, just runs around everywhere between your turrets. You can't really do it on Ryze. If you start pushing between the turrets, you're a very easy target to gank. That's why, for me, Darren on Ryze, a bit of a risky pick.
We'll see if he can turn his performance around. We said it, we weren't that impressed with him against the Wolves, a game that they ended up losing. And, well, he's already halfway to getting double digits in terms of deaths from just one game on that Ryze. Other side, though, Yorick, I've been trying to remember exactly when the last time we saw Yorick was.
Gamescom.
Yeah, they played it at the playoffs at Gamescom.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
They played the Yorick. If they won, I'm not 100% sure. And generally, when you see the Yorick pick, it's combined with like a hyper carry. You have like Vayne or Kog'Maw or something. So you have the ultimate from Yorick to make sure this person can stay alive, or of course come back up if you kill him. This time around, they don't have a hyper carry. I mean, yes, Lucian, strong in the late game, but he's not a hyper carry. And Nidalee, of course, definitely not a target you normally would use the ultimate on. So in that case, the pick is a little bit weird, but I think it's actually picked as a counter to Ryze.
We also have to say that, you know, Yorick now with a tier more easily stackable.
Yeah, that's true.
That works in his favor. So.
Both these top laners want to get an early tier and get his stacking up here, of course.
I'll see who gets the tier first and who's left crying in that matchup in the top lane, and also whether we're going to see any switches coming in. Right now, both teams lined up across the map. Actually, Yellowstar has forced his way in to the Tribush on the bottom side of the map, just forcing Genja to actually back away.
And again, teleport on both top laners, very popular summoner spell here in 4.4 when it did receive the buff. And looking everywhere else, we don't actually see anything too special. Cleanse onto Nidalee, of course, is going to hurt him even more in the laning phase compared to the barrier onto Ziggs. So it's going to make it harder for Peke to actually go into duels, and his kill potential onto Alex is very, very low, but he wants the cleanse combined with a black shield onto someone like Reckless, so him and Reckless can just push the turrets here against Leona, and a lot of damage.
Fight at level 1 here between Alex and Peke. Peke is finally going to go around the corner and say, no, you know what, I'm just going to recall from this one. So that takes Peke out of any level 1 action, or certainly for a while. They could go a little bit later on, but I think, yeah, this is Gambit versus Fnatic. It's currently 2-1 to Fnatic. Gambit need this win to try and get into the top 2 come the end of this spring split. I'm not sure if we're going to see any funkiness. Right now, Edward just waiting, gets a ward down on top of Reckless and Yellow Star and stops that red buff from being taken away.
And also delays them actually coming down to this bottom lane here, so Genji could at least get the wave going in favor of Gambit here, so they should be able to get the early level 2, which is very, very good when you have Leona, and they're actually going very aggressive.
Going on to Reckless here, he's going to take a lot of damage, and they put the Ignite down. Can they get a first blood? Genji going low himself. Yellow Star's chasing, he baited out the barrier, and Genji has to flash away. So very low from that one. Crazy stuff.
So both summoners used from Yellow Star, but every single summoner used from the Gambit bottom lane here, so big win for them, and they also forced Genji very, very low. He needs to be careful. Reckless, Silver Flash and Barrier, so he's gonna stay in the lane here feeling safe, and if Genji ever comes too close, he needs to recall. They're just gonna poke him. This is a big issue here for Gambit because they're gonna fall so far behind in XP.
Gambit were the ones that started all that. They're the ones that got all that early damage.
And they didn't have to. They already got the wave pushing in their favor. They would get the level 2 earlier, but they just saw an opportunity. They went for it, and then Fnatic turned it around here.
That takes Genji out of the lane. We'll see how he can develop as he comes back in here shortly. Yellow Star pushing Edward as far away as he can, and here's the backup from Gambit. Lee Sin and Diamond coming around. I tell you what, Reckless has to be so careful here.
Yeah, but there's 2 early wards here from Fnatic, so they knew there was a high chance Diamond coming down. They need to back off.
Oh yeah, and they've seen that one coming. They start to recall. Yellow Star getting hit there with the Q. Diamond gonna follow through. That is actually a good dark binding, but is it enough? Edward's actually fallen low. Diamond forced away as well, and very calm play by Fnatic. The Spider coming down here as well. I don't think the Cyanide, I don't think, but there's no warp down. He's gonna catch out Diamond. And Cocoon's landed. He sinks his mountain. Flash over. Cyanide doesn't go through. He was ticking there with the damage from the red buff, but he survives in the end. Crazy.
And Fnatic actually managed to turn the gang around because Genji, he wasn't there yet. It was a 2 versus 2. Good binding from Yellow Star, and then Cyanide coming down here, forcing the flash throw. A lot of summoners used by Gambit here early on.
And now Fnatic gonna look to get some damage down onto this turret.
Edward can die here.
Yeah, Edward from Gambit. Is he gonna go aggressive? Actually gets hit by the dark binding. Not quite on top of that tormented soil, and Genji is able to put a bit more damage back, and that is the tower safe for now. But look at Alex putting down a ton of damage here to Peke in that mid lane, right as we saw from level 1, that one developing.
Yeah, so when you have one of the strongest laners in the mid lane against one of the weaker laners early on, with also a cleanse, you're supposed to just punish him, push him up to the turret all the time, hit him, force him to go back, get the CS late. So Alex been doing his job, and of course he spotted Cyanide down in the bottom lane, so he knew there's no chance of him getting ganked.
We've just seen both top laners going home and then coming back in using that teleport onto the tower. Both of them do have that tier now coming in, so yeah, that's going to be spam your abilities all day long in the top lane.
This is also one of the reasons Ryze is so strong now, because with teleport, with their buff teleport now, you can early on go back, buy your tier, so you can get it stacking, you get it rolling, so you get your power spike even earlier, and then just teleport back to lane. And Soaz, he did the same thing on Yorick here, so works out for both of them, and actually both of them doing the exact same thing.
Diamond is waiting here though. He can get in on towards Soaz. Darian just stepping forward there for that one. Diamond is coming around the corner. There is a room prison. Soaz might be forced to flash. Will flash away just as Diamond comes around.
So flashed away here. Good setup by Darren, actually staying in range of Soaz, so he moved forward for some poke and then landing. Of course, weird enough, he's Ryze. How can you even miss your room prison? But still, he landed it onto Soaz and then forced the flash away.
He clicked accurately there.
He managed to click his mouse onto Soaz. Well done.
Very good stuff. And the CS in that top lane actually heavily in favor of Soaz at this point. 39 to 29. Goals all day long, but coming out for it.
And that should be the reason for this Yorick pick, simply because Source is like, you know what, I can actually beat you in lane, I can counter you in lane, because again, we talked about how there's no hyper carry on Fnatic, but of course it's never bad to have the ultimate later on for someone like Reckless on Lucian.
Alexic may be in danger. Actually, Cyanide getting a ward down here behind that Wraith camp. Peke can't get that spear off to him. He's not level 6 yet, so can't chase in there. There is his level 6, and actually, as I'm getting all excited about that one, Cyanide has in fact backed away from that mid lane. Now he's coming back into it.
But Diamond is nearby here. It can be very scary for Fnatic if they go for this one.
Alexic actually diving away, gets hit with a spear. Cyanide goes in. They flash over the top, but Diamond makes his appearance. Will they follow through? Good damage coming back. Another spear. Oh, not quite landing. Peke's going to go for this one. His flash. He dives in. There is the protection, the shield. Oh, side step from Alexic. So close. Darian coming down here as well. Darian might actually get caught out wisely. Went back to the top side there and back towards his turret. If he'd have come down through the jungle, he might have died.
Yeah, but Fnatic here, instantly as they win the 2v2 fight in mid lane, they walk in, get a ward onto the blue buff, so they're going to see it being, when it spawns. I'm not sure if they want to actually contest it, but at least they're going to get the timer, and they know then they can actually go for a dragon, for instance, if they were in a better position. But Diamond starting it up here. Peke can try and steal it with his spear, but a very good ward over here from Diamond, actually spotting him out if he comes in to do it.
Bot lane taking more pressure here. Reckless and Yellowstone had the better of this bottom lane, that's for sure. You can see the health of both Edward and Genja certainly not good for them at this stage. And there is Alex finally coming up to this blue buff. He's just going to throw in the bouncing bomb. Takes that one away with him to take on Peke in the mid.
For Fnatic, they got the timer on it. Of course, Gambit, they were aware of them moving in and warding it. So they know, of course, Fnatic will have full idea behind the next blue buff. And that's where Fnatic can try and set up a dragon, for instance, because they know Ziggs and Diamond is going to be at the blue buff, and then they can rotate down to Dragon. So let's see how they decide to play it in 5 minutes time, of course, if we even remember at that point. But the bottom lane, like we saw early on, Genja had to back off. That's why the XP and the CS lead from Reckless, and he's been using it to full advantage, or taking full advantage of it.
Those goals in the top lane causing Darian more problems. Can afford to go back home once again though now. He's got that teleport back off cooldown. He can just buy up what he wants. The workings of that Catalyst to Protector, and then going to use his teleport to come straight back into the lane on that top side. The question is now, with a little bit more health, a little bit more mana, can he stay in that lane longer? And you can see he goes straight in there, but the goal's just too much pressure.
And that's why this Yorick pick is so smart, because every time Darren wants to get some poke onto Source, you just get 2 or 3 goals in your face. They're gonna hit you all the way, and you just have to run away while they hit you all the time. So Source will always be able to outduel Darren, at least at the moment.
Oh, this could be very scary down in the bottom lane. Cyanide's waiting, but Lee Sin is coming around the corner as well. They do go in there. Edward, what's he going to do with this one? Actually speeds himself away from that one with the help of Genja's ultimate. Diamond was there, as I said. Didn't get involved.
Didn't really get involved, but we saw at least Edward here going on to Yellow Star, baiting out the Black Shield and flashing there. So he did use his ultimate and then just backed off because they saw Cyanide here. Very good wave clear by Alex, taking away all the farm from poor Genja.
Look at the top lane. Darian is getting absolutely destroyed. Thrown a lot back here at Soaz, who's used his entire mana pool to have a go at Darian. But again, he can go back home if he needs to. He's got that teleport.
What he's going to do.
He's going to come straight back in afterwards.
Yeah, he can just come back here. Darren actually want to try and stop him. Don't really think he wants to run through the turret though, but Fnatic now, Genja had to recall. They saw him actually recall, so they're starting up this dragon. Edward also recalling here. It doesn't look like Fnatic actually want to try and contest. Maybe a steal from Diamond.
Nope. Actually, he's completely backed off from that one. So that is the first dragon of the game. Going over to Fnatic gives them a 1,000 gold lead. Not a massive one at this point, but every little helps. Actually, Soaz did come back in here with that teleport, and he's going to get back to farming up the storm that he's done so well. Now Peke, of course, doing a lot more damage, but look at that from Alexic. He's not missing these skill shots today.
No, Ziggs can do so much damage onto him, and of course, Peke needs to land the spear, or he needs to go full in phase onto him with his in cat form so he can get some damage, which is very scary against Ziggs here. But what I also like about the thing for Soaz, early magic resist, of course taking less damage from Ryze, and also due to the fact that Genja is so far behind, so there's going to be a long time before he's really going to get some damage here. So magic resist against Ziggs and Ryze is going to mean a lot for Soaz.
And again, forcing him to back off. Now, Diamond is called in to help out on this one, and there is the first damage coming in towards Soaz. Diamond comes across the side. The flash is back available here for Soaz, and Soaz is going to just walk straight out of this one. Cyanide's coming in. There is, in fact, the kick, and Soaz has his ultimate, of course, to use in this one. That is a brilliant flash over the side, though. Diamond now taking the damage here. Cyanide's going to try and finish off, but Soaz just played that one so ridiculously cool.
Yeah, he was just baiting out, waiting for Cyanide. He waited in the bush and just flashed instantly as Diamond tried to come in here. And good cocoon!
Oh, they're turning this one around. Diamond has to flash away from it. Are they going to go under the turret? Darian sticking around. And Soaz is still pretty low. He's going to be getting some health back, though, from those goals. Will they dare dive into him? Not now that the minions have gone.
But they can continue to push it out here, get some good poke onto Darian. Sun is without mana, so he won't be able to do too much, but as long as they can shove the wave out here and then go back, or actually it seems like they want to stay.
Doing some good work in there as well, but again, the minions just blasted down by Darian, who used his ultimate to help things on that one. And Fnatic back off, but it looked pretty grim, to be honest, for Soaz. You have to give him the credit there for being able to survive that one, moving into the bush, flashing straight back out after.
He was just buying time for Cyanide to run in there, and he also had the ultimate. He didn't actually use it. Yes, he would give up a kill, but he would have been able to stay and fight afterwards with Cyanide here, so he was just baiting it out here. Mid lane wise, Peg have been doing a good job trying to keep up in CS, but Alex is of course having the lead, and down here in the bottom lane, they can go aggressive.
Oh, bad news for Edward. He's going to get the solar flare off, but he is going to fall. But Reckless taking a lot of damage. Ignite is going to finish off there, and now Yellow Star in all kinds of trouble. Diamond landing that point blank Q. He's going to zap on off. No, he's not, and he's not going to need to either. Genja will secure that kill. That's a killer piece for the support and the AD carry. Meanwhile, Alex Itch going to take some pressure in mid. Flash and a second flash. Alex Itch timing that one to perfection.
And Fnatic down in the bottom lane used so much time and damage on killing the very tanky Leona, so Genja was just left alone. Boomerang Blade back and forth there, a lot of damage onto Fnatic, and with 2 kills from the LPM Diamond and the turret now, Gambit, they're back in the game.
Back in the game, and 1 turret apiece. Still 1,000 gold from that earlier dragon. Well,
because they timed it, yes, we talked about it 5 minutes ago, blah blah.
Picking up that one, Edward's actually coming in from the side here to try and stop that happening, and Alex is going to be there in time as well. So actually, despite that early presence on the blue buff as it spawns, it looks like Gambit will be able to keep that one under control.
And Edward likes to do this whenever he recalls. He always looks for opportunities to actually roam up with the team. So he's going towards his top lane now, but Soaz already recalled, so he's not going to risk anything. And Edward, he's just continuing going.
Nice little dart behind him there, and the spear just dodged away from by Alex Itch. That turret has taken a bit of a beating, down to less than half. Actually, another one lands. Where's the spear from Peke? Well, the minions came out anyway. Wouldn't have been able to get through.
And that's going to be a scary combo from Fnatic. Every time they land a binding or cocoon, they can just fire a spear. There's no chance you can dodge it. That's going to be very strong when they actually start sieging up or poking before, for instance, a dragon fight.
Edward actually coming to help out and give some backup to Alex Itch in this mid lane. Let's have a look down some of the items here. We see between the AD carries, Reckless quite a lot ahead here. Bloodthirster done for him, BF sword and a long sword on the side of Genja. Of course, the big CS disparity there. Only 600 gold behind his Genja in the overall equation now.
Well, he got the turret, he got a kill and an assist, of course, so he had something at least to get back in the lane, so it was very good for him when Fnatic actually decided to go aggressive onto Edward when the Gambit could turn it around. But still so far behind in CS, of course. It's going to be a big difference. Wow!
Mid-air spear, not bad at all from Peke there. He's going to throw another one while stacking up the turrets, and Alex Itch is using his satchel charge to actually get into that mid lane. I don't think he was quite calculating the fact that Peke was going to hit that one. They had full vision of him with that ward from the side, and now they're actually coming up towards this middle outer turret. Alex Itch uses his ultimate to make sure they can't keep going.
And this is one of the reasons we see the Ziggs pick to try and wave clear against the siege combo here. It didn't work because the turret was already low, so Fnatic with 4 members could just take it. And it shows at least why Alex picked up the Ziggs. He wants to try and be able to clear the wave so Fnatic can just group up whenever they want and poke. But Cyanide coming up towards Darren here in the top lane. Flash is up for him. And also just backing off here. Nothing happening.
Diamond though doing well with that one. Actually was leading the game and forcing went up towards that top lane knowing that Darian was going to have to back off. Didn't want to leave Soaz too much free time on this turret. And that 20 CS lead that Soaz built himself remains in there. We've just seen Rod of Ages actually picked up by Darian after that tier from earlier.
And Darian is about 100 mana ahead also on his tier compared to Source, so he's gonna get it fully stacked before. And with the Rod of Ages stacking up as well, so he's looking now to go towards this 25-minute or maybe even earlier power spike from Ryze, where he becomes such a beast. But Fnatic took the first dragon, had the timer on the second one here. Gambit nowhere near to respond, easy dragon. However, the mid turret is the target.
The target, Soaz is actually in there trying to do as much damage to Diamond as he can. Yellow Star coming across the side here as well. Do they want to fight? Don't think that they do. The bouncing bomb will zone Fnatic back off, but they may just turn and say, we've got position on this mid lane.
And they can actually push it down here with all the members and start poking away. Look for the spears from Pekka here. If you can land one or two of them, it will force Gambit to rethink if they actually want to engage. Maybe even force them to back off, so they can get a lot of damage here on this turret. So very good zoning from Fnatic. And he has to engage.
Edward's going to go into this one, throws down the Solar Flare. That will slow down two of them. Genja running right in the middle. Diamond's in there. The ultimate from Alex Ichlands. Yellow Star will lock one up, but Cyanide's going to go down. It's 1-for-1 in the end.
So here again we see both combos in action. Fnatic wanted to siege up here. Don't really want to fight. As soon as the engage came in from Gambit, very good engage from Edward and Diamond from behind here. We saw the entire Fnatic team just trying to run away, just trying to kite away. Meanwhile, wow, it's actually doing quite a lot of damage already.
Yes, max range there. Fiend's Unholy Grail is all that Pekka has, so throw in a needlessly large rod on top of that one, which Pekka is not going to be too far away from being able to buy. And well, that's a almost dead Sivir.
It's at least going to be an issue. Fnatic, of course, they want to have this death cap on to Nidalee before they really start the siege. That's why they can return to the lanes now, just farm up a little bit. They're missing some key items before it really starts to hurt. But meanwhile, in this top lane, though, Source is just constantly pushing down. And Darren, he's going to take some damage, but he's also able to pick up quite some farm.
Yeah, Source actually getting locked up there in range of the turret. Got himself that Spirit Visage now, so he's going to be healing back a little bit more from his ghouls. And we'll see how that one all develops. Still, 20 CS is the lead for him. Cyanide is going up there, so Darian's going to have to be careful now.
There's no flash on Darren here. A cocoon from Elise, and he should be dead. However, of course, Yorick not exactly bringing a lot of damage to the table, so in that case, Darren should possibly, or maybe, be able to survive here. Actually, let's wait and see, because of course, Elise with a lot of damage.
He's level 10 for Cyanide as well. Darian yet to step out far enough, as though he's Spidey senses running over time. Yellow Star actually coming up. There's a cocoon. Oh, he's managed to land max range. Darian, is he going to be able to escape? In comes Diamond. There is the kick. It sends Soaz actually closer in. And now Cyanide with the repel will be able to get away. Soaz has taken some damage. Yellow Star going to walk over on towards Diamond. But with the presence of Edward, they have to back away. Nice kill for Fnatic.
Yeah, and the kick here from Diamond actually meant that Fnatic didn't have to use a flash to get out or get closer to Darren to pick up the kill, because he kicked Source into his face. Kill here for Source. They actually did have enough damage, after some time at least, to kill the Ryze.
And there was Pekka cheekily stealing away that blue buff. Knew that Gambit have gone up towards the top lane. Just came around behind them, takes that blue buff away from Alex Ich here. Could be a vital pickup for him and teleport again. With Darian, will bring him back into this top lane. Doesn't want to be missing any time. Despite dying for the first time in the game. He's close to the 30 CS behind now.
Well, all for him now is just pick up farm, always use your abilities so your tiers being stacked up, and then once you hit the mid game point or the late game point, you will be so strong. Even if you die 4 or 5 more times, you already got your 2 key items stacking up. So for Darren, he just needs to continue trying to farm away as much as possible. And when it comes to the late game, Ryze against Yorick, I would prefer Ryze.
Well, we'll see if that is the case coming in. We look down some of the other items that have now been completed and bought. Reckless has got his Zeal on top of that Bloodthirster. Genja actually not finishing off that Bloodthirster as of yet. Does have 940 gold, so we'll be able to go back and finish that one off next time. Or just, you know, start building towards the Zephyr.
He's actually not been building it for a while, so I'm proud of Genja. Stop building it for now at least. Can't say what he's going to do this game. We'll wait and see. He's just clearing out the wave. We're actually recalling now, so should be picking up the Bloodthirster.
There's a lot of slows and roots with Fnatic. That tenacity could come in handy for him. We'll see.
Just
right
stop.
now,
Just
Fnatic are pushing in towards this outer turret in the top lane. Only really Edward there to stop them. In fact, I tell like as Diamond is there with him as well. They've actually managed to keep hold of that one. Meanwhile, Alex being dove onto here by XPK. There are the mines coming in, the shield. The spear not enough, but he had to flash away from that dark binding.
Had to flash the dark binding. He would have died otherwise, because Yellowstar is of course maxing the dark binding, and then he could even walk in, ignite him. So good flash here by Alex. And we also see Fnatic actually with 3 members up in the top lane taking the turret, and meanwhile pressuring the mid lane. So they have full control of the map here, and we see Gambit just staying in the lanes, and good cocoon.
Oh, that's a brilliant cocoon over the wall. The Colin is absolutely ripping Darian to pieces. Reckless gets a kill for free there. That was a complete freebie given up. And this is the Darian that we talked about, losing concentration, going a little bit deeper than he's safe to do.
But it's also due to the fact that Fnatic got full control of the map. They know they're the ones deciding where Gambit should actually be to defend, so they're not in the risk of being ganked or killed, because they're the ones deciding everything at the moment. So Reckless even moving all the way from bot lane all the way up the top, gets a kill. Fun enough for him.
And that kill turned that Zeal into a phantom dancer now as well. So they are in a very, very healthy position. If you look at Peke, actually picked up that Nielsen Lodge already, got a Negatron cloak as well. So decided not to go straight towards the...
Could be into a Banshees though. With Cleanse and Banshees, it's going to be very, very hard for Gambit to engage onto him. And it's the only thing he worries about, because Fnatic already hitting gold. This Dragon, Gambit is nowhere near. It's going to spawn in 2 seconds. Fnatic will pick it up, extend the goal lead. And as a pick comp, once you get ahead, is where all you need to avoid is just being straight up engaged. So with a Banshees, with Cleanse on to pick up later on, again, then Fnatic can just start sieging away, and Gambit just have to try and pop the Banshees, then engage, pop the Cleanse, and then try again.
More Diamond here trying to clear out a pink ward, and there is the dark binding. The cocoon follows up the Culling from the side as well. Diamond goes low, spear didn't quite connect onto him, but we see the danger as Soaz has TP'd in behind them. He's on towards Genji, who uses his ultimate. Cyanide there as well. Here comes Yellowstar with his ulti running. Soaz does get locked up, and in fact Yellowstar had to flash away. Now the focus comes towards Soaz. Edward is there, ulti's thrown left and right. Here comes the big bomb. Soaz goes down. His ultimate is going to be coming up. He can suicide with this one straight in as they dash towards them. Genji goes down. Spear hits Edward. They're going to keep going through. Soaz will be the one to tank this one up. Another spear land. Doesn't have the damage to finish Edward though.
But his Yorick pick is definitely doing work in the team fights, tanking up so much damage. Then he respawns with his ultimate, and he stays in the front line, so Fnatic can continue firing his spears from the background here. Reckless doing a lot of damage as well, and joining in. Look at the replay. Teleport first from Source. Darren didn't actually teleport yet, so he's going to join in later for the fight. You see Elise up in the top, joining in the fight as well. And Source, only man in the front line here, is just going to tank up all the damage. Yellowstar, a little bit out of position, forced to flash away, didn't actually get anything in this fight here. But then Source, being the target, ultimates himself. He's going to stay alive or respawn and continue being here. So annoying. So Reckless and Italy in the back line can just land all the spears, land the damage, and whenever someone is low, you can go in and try and finish.
Credit to Edward there. He actually came in front of Darian to catch that spear for him. Otherwise that would have been a dead rise as well. At least Fnatic 5-4 up in kills. 2,000 gold though, the important point of this one. 3-1 in turrets, and they've got a good few wards down, a lot of traps on that bottom side of the map as well. Interested to see how Gambit try and come back from this one. They've got to stay together and hope to catch someone out, surely.
Well, yeah, so they just had a team fight win 1-for-1, so it's not all bad for Gambit. Their combo is very, very strong once they actually get the team fight started, once they get onto Fnatic. They need a bit more damage before they can really deal with this Darren with Source, but now he's being ganked.
Gonna get kicked back from this one. I don't imagine that he lives, although that'll help him out if Diamond misses those point-blank range Qs. But there is a lockup once again in the room prison. Soaz gonna ulti himself here, but that's gonna be the kill, and Soaz won't do anything apart from pick up a bit of farm there.
Meanwhile here, Fnatic in the jungle of Gambit, but the minion wave wasn't pushed up here, so they couldn't actually get onto the turret. So Gambit picking up a kill and not losing anything yet at least. They're still staying around here with at least 3 members in the bottom lane. Can they land something? That's not going to do too much.
Well, pushing on towards this inner turret now in the bottom lane, and Peke quite happy to tank a couple of hits because, well, he's middly and he can heal it all straight back up. Yep. Meanwhile, Reckless hammering away out that middle inner turret as well. That's a great dark binding coming out of Yellowstar to stop Diamond getting across, and this is where it gets really dangerous for Gambit. Being split push on 2 fronts, how do they stop it?
well, you engage. That's it. You get to the point where you can actually kill Fnatic, and then you engage onto them. That's the only thing you can do. You can't out-push them, you can't out-poke them, so you just need to straight up engage when you feel you're actually strong enough. Or, if someone like Peke moves in to hit the turret, and then without him expecting it, you land the ultimate from Leona and you start the fight here. For Gambit, this entire game, Fnatic has just been moving them around the map. They've been doing such a good job rotating around, making it hard for Gambit to pick up the farm they wanted. Genji is 100 CS behind Reckless because every time he tries to farm, Ziggs is there, taking all the farm away from him, or someone else, Darren, is there, taking away the farm. And he's actually going to be a very important member. He needs to get a Last Whisper to this game because he needs to be the one, together with Darien and together with Alex, killing Source in the team fights. As long as Source is alive in the front line, they will never be able to get past him and on to Peke and Reckless in the back, just firing away with the long-range poke, of course. So for Gambit's side, gotta continue farming as much as possible, and then they just need to try and catch out Fnatic if they become too greedy with this engage combo from Gambit.
Well, speaking of a Last Whisper, Reckless now has his in there. We've got the Rabadon's Death Cap finished for Peke as well on Nidalee. That's two items that are gonna scare Gambit, especially the Death Cap.
Yeah, well, both of them really big power spike items, and Peke actually had a lot of gold before he decided to back because he picked up some more AP with the Death Cap here, so he's really gonna hurt now. No matter who's hitting, no matter who's he's actually hitting the spear on, it's gonna hurt. Even Diamond, who's supposed to be the tank here, has very little magic resist.
So Fnatic, well, up by Baron. Say up by Baron, they're just gonna kick this one off. Two of them will be starting this Baron, and look at Diamond, Gambit's position just in general. Diamond is the only one anywhere near to that Baron buff, and to be honest, this is just going to be a freebie for Fnatic.
Yeah, and well, again, they've been playing the map so well, so them getting the vision control of the Baron area and just knowing that Gambit wasn't anywhere near to do it is what they can do. And we've seen these pick combo or these poke combos today, and whenever they get ahead early on, they are just so strong, so dominant. That's why these teams love to play champions like Nidalee.
Let's have a look at some of the other items here. Muramana now in there for Yorick as he finished stacking up that tier, and on the other side, Seraph's Embrace was picked up there, or the Archangels, of course, and both those tiers stacked up nicely. However, I mean, how long does this game need to go on for Darren to actually get into a position where, if basically Edward starts off a perfect fight, that he's going to be able to kill Fnatic with the item disadvantage that they've got here?
Well, Gambit, they got enough damage if they can get on to the backline of Fnatic, but that's only like an absolute perfect team fight where Yellow Star is sleeping, he's completely missing the black shield, and both Reckless and Peke are just standing there waiting for the stun from Leona so they can actually pile onto the backline. In case it should happen, Gambit will have enough damage. But in a normal fight where they need to deal with Swords first, they're actually going to need Void Staff onto Ryze, and they're going to need Last Whisper onto Genji, and of course Void Staff onto Alex, before they can really start winning the fights, because they need to melt him. Not once, but twice, and then they can get on to the squishy targets from the backline, of course.
Well, it doesn't look like there's a Last Whisper coming out of Genji anytime soon here. He's got a BF sword and he's got a Zeal, so going in two different directions there in terms of his itemization. Fnatic are pushing turrets once again. They got Nidalee in the middle, who's going to be pushing alone, and the rest of the team pushing straight out. There's the cleanse actually used by Peke to get away from that engagement, and that's what Gambit are going to have to do. Yeah, two ultimates down from Gambit here. Ryze and Leona without the ultimate, so Fnatic can just continue pushing up here. Of course, no cleanse for Peke in case a fight should break out, but that's where, whenever he actually decides to go back, he can just pick up either the Quicksilver Sash or the Banshees for next time. To pressure that top outer turret. Alex is just spamming as much of his abilities as he can in there to stop this one from happening, but Peke is not showing any signs of letting up this split push in the mid lane. They still need to be a little bit careful about how close they step in there. If Darien decides to go super aggressive, flash over and really lock up Lucian, then that could be bad news to the start of the fight from this one. But this is standard split push from Fnatic.
This is just a poke comp in action. A poke comp so far ahead, they're not scared of anything. But Darien actually going in.
And Darien's dead.
He died.
I said they might have to be careful if Darien goes aggressive. He did go a little bit aggressive, but it was actually Reckless that got the kill. And, well, that's just made it a lot harder for them to defend against the heavy poke of this one. Actually, Fnatic decided now splitting off in the middle is not what they want. They piled up all 5 on that top lane. They do actually catch Edward here. An ultimate from Yellowstar going to come down. They're going to fight this one. Edward is now locked up. Have they got the damage to finish him off? Yes, they do. That's a kill for Soaz on Yorick, and that's the inhibitor.
Tremendous inhibitor from Fnatic, and they can then either continue pushing or start backing off here. If they land a spear or a cocoon, they can go for a kill more.
Oh, actually, Diamond is quite far out from this one. Will they actually go for that turret? We can see there in the bottom left that there's a big wave of minions actually pushing the bottom lane here. And Fnatic certainly don't want to be losing any more turrets than they have to.
Unless Source decides to teleport up there to actually clear the wave, then it will be a turret for Gambit. Only the second turret of the game. Actually, there's the teleport. He's gonna clear it.
Yep, the turret doesn't actually go down in the end. So nice try from Gambit's minions to get them some gold back on the board. Doesn't quite work out that way though. It's 14,000 gold lead almost that Fnatic currently have over Gambit. Not looking good for Gambit. As we said in the pre-game, Gambit have to win this game if they want a top 2 finish.
Yeah, and it's not looking good right now. And Gambit is thinking what everyone who's normally playing against Nidalee is thinking. This is so annoying. Every time you play against Nidalee, you fall behind and just start spear and spear every single time. If you get hit, boom, back to base, over and over again. So for Gambit's point of view here, of course they need to stay positive, keep the mindset they can still win the game, but they really need the perfect fight to turn this one around.
Let's have a look down some of the more items coming in. Void staff was picked up not too long ago for Peke, and he's also building towards that Zhonya's as well. Got himself the Seeker's Arm Guard already in. Bit more tankiness with the Giant's Belt for Soaz as well on Yorick, so he's going to be even harder to take down. And once he goes a little bit further into that build, it's pretty much just impossible to, well, you can maybe kill him the one time, but the second time he's up there, you're going to have to do it all over again. Never good news as Peke here steps forward, couple more hits onto that turret, steps back out with the heal, and they'll continue to do this until Gambit crumble. However, look at Lee's in position. He's going to try and get around the back and kick one through the rest of the team. There is Reckless actually coming away. There is the kick, and Reckless flashes straight away from it. Meanwhile, Yellowstar's coming around. Edward is right at the front of him as well. That's a good solar flare, but Edward's going to go down. It's Soaz that gets that kill. Genja is low as well. Diamond falls low, but Fnatic themselves not the healthiest.
Yeah, not the perfect engage here from Gambit. They tried, however. Diamond actually came all the way around, but from there on, ultimate from Leona didn't hit anything, and the kick, straight after the kick, just flashed away from Reckless here, so Gambit never really managed to collapse onto it, and now Fnatic should be able to pick up this turret.
Going forward actually gets room prisoned by Darian, but they've had the damage. They were able to tank it up long enough, and they finish off the second inhibitor turret of the game. But look at Gambit chasing them back out. They need to be careful there, Fnatic. Certainly not very healthy. Where's the spear? Peke doesn't have vision. Diamond just sidestepping it.
So the inhibitor is still up actually. Only Peg is staying here to try and kill it, but he's gonna back off now. The rest of Fnatic though rotating down here, getting the last outer turret away from Gambit's side. So it's gonna be all about getting this inhibitor in the mid lane and then going bot lane to get the last one for Fnatic. Once all the inhibitors are down, again, it's not gonna look good.
Not easy to defend from, that's for sure. Darren trying to push things out here, and if we look down Genja's build, there's still no sight of that last Whisper.
He's not gonna build it. That's it. He's gonna go Infinity Edge. I'm sorry, but he's gonna do nothing against Genja. I mean, against Source, of course.
Soaz now has Warmoths in on top of his Randuin's Omen, Ruru Mana, Spirit Visage. There's another dragon being picked up by Fnatic as well. In fact, they're 5th of the game. All 5 dragons and the single Baron. Possibly the second Baron going to be coming up here shortly. That has now respawned in. Gambit have got a few wards down already. To be fair, Fnatic don't really need the Baron at this point.
Not at all.
But it's always a welcome pickup, if you can take it without the risk.
Well, if they can get Gambit to move out of their base and then land some spears onto them and then start a fight, it's fine for Fnatic. It could be a way for actually get a finish onto the game. Otherwise, they need to dive onto this bottom lane turret down here or continue doing the siege from before. They are starting it now. A lot of members here zoning the rest of Gambit away, but we should actually be able to see a fight. This is the chance for Gambit to try and get Baron and some kills.
Maybe the only chance in this game. The spears come through, dark bindings will start to land. There's the ultimate coming in, and
He got it!
They got it! Leona picks up the Baron. Edward will go down afterwards, but Fnatic making a possible catastrophic mistake. They're going to try and outfight Gambit here. They've already got one man down. Can they get any more? Rappel over the wall as Alex Sich. Oh! He got away. He recalls right under Soaz's nose. Peke has chased the rest of them out. Spear was dodged there nicely by Genja. They lost one man. That was Edward. He picked up the Baron. They're probably going to lose a second. Or I think Diamond being very, very slippery with this one. Managing somehow to run rings around Soaz. He's just waiting for that next school to come out to get the slow. Diamond gets off to the ward. Is he going to go any further? He's going to look for the white here. Not up, I'm afraid. Diamond is running for his life, and I think Soaz has got bored of chasing him.
Yeah.
They're in the base, so...
Couldn't really be asked chasing him any longer, though. Peke is staying down here in the base. So, Fnatic, they got Gambit to move out of the base. They could actually have turned around and set up a fight, but Baron got so low, and then an Elise and Cyanide, normally a person always on point with the smites, actually lost it over to Edward with his ultimate, and Diamond, he's still up here.
Yeah. Just life stealing back there from the golems, right up in Fnatic's jungle. I think Cyanide had a look around to see where he was, and after spotting him there by the wall, but decided, you know what, just can't be bothered to chase Lee Sin. It's a bit of a futile.
But again here, the Baron for Fnatic, yes, it was risky to start it, but it could actually just have turned around, and Darren very aggressive onto Peke.
Good damage as well, and we see there that he is getting stronger and stronger as things go on. There's the hero, at least up until now, for Gambit. Edward managing to steal Baron right from under the noses of Fnatic, but they probably need another one at least if they're to if they're to be able to push right back on this one.
But the good thing for Gambit, it extends the game at least for some minutes now, because Fnatic don't really want to just push up against this Baron top team. They want to wait it out, so it buys some time for Gambit to farm, get maybe at least one item on each member more, which is of course going to help quite a lot. The longer we go into the game, the less a gold lead actually means. Of course, if we can go to the 50-60 minute point where everyone is starting to pick up the 5-6 items, that's where the gold lead is going to become less important. But it's still quite a while before we get there, so Gambit need to get the next Baron and of course defend this push here from Fnatic.
And they are pushing straight down the mid lane. Spawning in as Genja. Going to get caught out from this one. Actually, they may turn it around here. Yellowstar going dangerously low. Cyanide's right in the middle of them as well. He's forced to flash away. The spear does land on towards Genja. Here comes Soaz now right into the middle of them. But the Inferno Bomb is going to do so much damage. Darian actually gets the finisher. Fnatic have to back away. Not sure if that was the wisest decision. You said it yourself. Why fight against a Baron up team with that risk?
It was a very aggressive move by Fnatic here. Luckily for them, they only lost one member. Could have gone even more wrong, actually. Diamond kicked one of the members from Fnatic out and saved him, but then Daewee coming in from Darien, picking up the last kill, and he was left completely untouched in the fight, and he also completed his Void Staff now. So both the AP carries from Gambit with the Void Staff, so they're going to start doing a lot of damage on the source. We actually saw him in the last fight here. He joined in, and then they switched the focus to him, and he went low very, very fast, so they're starting to get a lot of damage onto him from Ryze and Ziggs.
I don't know, this has all the makings for a epic comeback here for Gambit as well. You know,
if they do it.
Holding on to their base, stealing away a Baron, slowly but surely doing a lot better in these team fights. The question is, when the next one comes around, when Fnatic feel comfortable to be pushing right up to that base again, can they hold on to these inhibitors that are now completely wide open?
They need to just engage straight up. They don't want to take the chance of getting a spear in the face or getting poked by whatever we have from here from Fnatic's side. So if Gambit can actually engage straight onto them, like we saw in the very last fight here, they will still have a chance to turn it around, because we need to remember, Nidalee in a straight up fight is not the strongest. You want to hit the spears first and then go in when someone is low to get the kill, where Ryze, Ziggs in the straight up fights are very, very strong. That's where Gambit can still try and turn around.
See there, Fnatic really worried about Diamond and his position from this one. We saw him coming in that earlier fight on towards Reckless. He did get the kick, but Reckless flashed straight away afterwards. Julia's coming through, non-connecting just yet though, and some good damage back on towards Soaz. Reckless has finally stepped a little bit further forward there. They've done good damage onto that inhibitor, but they're so wary about actually going in there and committing for the kill on it.
Doing a very good job, however, from Gambit side. Dodging out from the spears here. Just waiting for an opportunity to get. There we go!
Oh, this could be bad news. There is a solar flare coming down. The Inferno Bomb not really doing the damage they're looking for, but there is Genja at the front. He's going to start to go low, but Cyanide will die. That's a 1-for-1. Genja gets locked up inside the dark binding. Diamond now going to be focused. They throw down all the damage towards Soaz, and in the end it stays at 1 death apiece. But Diamond went so low that he has to back away to heal. 2 inhibitors have gone down. Reckless steps forward, almost takes Darian with him. They've got those minions coming in as well. Fnatic going to go for the Nexus turret. First one will fall. They're still a little bit too low to hang around. They're going to back off.
So got 1 Nexus turret here. It means the super minions coming in whenever they decide to push the bottom lane. Could potentially kill the last turret, and it's going to be a big deal here for Fnatic. Teamfight-wise, trading 1-for-1. Still, Gambit doing a very good job despite being so far behind in goal, actually going even in these fights here. But Fnatic, of course, as long as they can always go at least even and continue poking afterwards, they can stay, like we just saw here. Get the Nexus turret, get the Dragon. So they keep extending the gold lead for now.
Fnatic get themselves Dragon number 6. Baron number 3 is going to be coming up in less than 1 minute's time as well. And look at Diamond and Gambit past the halfway point of the map, something that they've not done for quite a while. And there is their second turret of the game coming down. Every little helps in terms of the gold at this point. The culling from Reckless, taking half of Diamond's HP. You see the damage from that one. Blue Buff's going to be going over here as well towards Alex Hitch. And, well, they need to start getting a bit of vision down.
Yeah, Baron up in 30 seconds here. 1 pink ward over on Fnatic side and 3 sweeping lenses. So once they push this wave up here, they can move into the area and place a lot of vision here in case they actually want to go for this Baron again. They don't need it, so they can just go down here bottom lane. Don't want to risk losing the Baron, getting the game going even longer here. So wisely enough, ignoring Baron for now, going straight down here to try and get some damage on.
They actually used the goals there to tank up the couple of turret hits that were thrown their way. Managed to lock in Darian as well with that dark binding and trying to harass him as much as they can. There come the spears. He actually hit the minion just in front of him. Soaz has gone off towards this mid lane, and the siege starts up once again for Fnatic. Peke again steps forward. Heals pretty massive by this point as well, and that's onto the fairly tanky support Leon as well. They've got Rocket of the Iron Solari in there, and there is the Solar Flare. He's actually landed onto 2 of them. The Inferno Bomb ripping through Reckless. Yellow Star's going to go down. Soaz tanking up the front as Edward gets hit by another spear. Lee Sin comes in. Whoa! There is the kick, the shutdown. Diamond is going to fall here, but Cyanide may go down as well. That's a good repel, and now the rest of the team turn back in. Soaz going straight for Genja. We see Peke trying to get in there as well, and Genja's going to fall, and that is 4 men down. A double kill for Soaz, and there is the teleport onto the super minion there. Nexus turret is already gone. They're going to focus down the Nexus itself, and Fnatic take down Gambit. Brilliant performance. A glimmer of hope there for Gambit as they stole that Baron, but Fnatic in the end just too strong.
And Fnatic, they really know how to play this siege combo here, getting full control of the map early on, forcing Gambit to just try and find farm everywhere they could. Meanwhile though, they were just pushing turrets from Fnatic side, landing the spears, getting the kills, and getting all the objectives. I don't think they lost a single dragon in this game. They did lose a Baron, but they didn't lose any dragons. So much gold from Fnatic. As soon as they got ahead, used it to the full advantage, pushed on all the time, and while the last team fight here from Gambit was actually a very good team fight, they were just so far behind that Fnatic could cut it away. And also Alex, he had to back off, go back to his own base because these Nexus turret died to the super minions, so he couldn't stay with the team when they were chasing.
And we have to say Yorick pulled out here for Soaz. Ended really nicely on it as well. 5-2-7 double kill.